What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Puerto Rican Conservative, and today I wanted to do a recap on the North and South Korea peace agreement and explain why, after a lot of research, I believe that both our president and the American people were tricked into applauding a union between North and South Korea that will ultimately pave the way towards America's economic destruction. Now, most of you might not know this, but on September 19, 2018, North and South Korea signed a major agreement announcing their commitments to an era of no war, peace, and economic development. This after almost 65 years of division and rising tension resulting from the Korean War of 1953, the deadly three-year war between North and South Korea, which was backed by China and the Soviet Union, that costed Korea more than 600,000 lives. Now, by 1991, both North and South Korea joined the United Nations. Then by 2018, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un decides that after weeks of threats against Donald Trump and the US and provocative missile testing, which led to military exercises in South Korea, he was for absolutely no reason thereafter ready to sit down with Donald Trump, speak about a plan to denuclearize, and then a few weeks later, meet with South Korean leader and sign the Panmunjom Declaration of Peace. Something just didn't add up. So I decided to backtrack through articles and follow the timeline of events, leading to Kim Jong-un's sudden change of heart. Now, I began conducting research that basically focused on a specific timeline. From April 2018, when the North and South Korea peace agreement was signed, backwards to August of 2017 when the threats between Trump and Kim Jong-un began. This led me to coming across one specific headline covered by many outlets throughout many different articles stating that a month before the peace agreements were signed between North and South Korea, Kim Jong-un had made a surprise visit to China to meet President Jinping and personally announced his plan for denuclearization. But why? Why would North Korea go to China to announce his plans to denuclearize, understanding the role that China historically played in supporting the war that sabotaged the Korean Peninsula and costed them almost 600,000 lives? And why would North Korea almost overnight cease its missile testing and decide in favor of talks with Trump and a peace agreement with South Korea? Just doesn't make sense. Well, first, understand that North Korea only stopped its missile test only after Trump pressured China to pressure North Korea, which led to sit-down talks announcing denuclearization, which implies once again that China has a certain degree of influence over North Korea. Now, most of you are probably still wondering where am I headed with all of this, and the answer is it all leads back to this one plan, the One Belt, One Road initiative. Now, in case you're wondering what the One Belt, One Road initiative is, simply put, it's a trade route infrastructure project that was launched by the Chinese government to build an ancient network of trade routes that connected East and Southeast Asia with Africa, West Asia, and South Europe, and another 68 countries. The route, originally known as the Silk Road, began 200 years before the birth of Christ, during the Han Dynasty. Now, from what I've read, according to the World Economic Forum, China's investing $900 billion into infrastructure to resurrect this dead trade route with technology, one that will usher in what the Chinese government has already identified as the new era of globalization. Now, strategically, China decided that in order to ensure that it can sustain seniority and through it authority, it plans on lending almost $8 trillion to 68 countries who are participating in the One Belt, One Road initiative. This equals 65% of the global population and 1/3 of global GDP. In essence, the new Silk Road is nothing but a geopolitical stunt that allows the Chinese government the ability to land grab or buy purchased land or consigned in order to expand their influence on the global economy through regional access, which in short term China's domestic policy into a plan with geostrategic consequences for both Europe and America. Now, here's where everything comes together. Before the One Belt, One Road initiative can be successfully implemented, China first has to champion for a unified Korea. The reason being, China's One Belt, One Road initiative must go through North Korea and connect with South Korea's Eurasia Initiative route. If tensions are high between the US and North Korea, economic sanctions and restrictions will be enforced on North Korea, preventing them from playing a part in the One Belt, One Road initiative, which means China will lose, an estimated $900 billion investment. This will definitely ensure that they, along with Russia, will remain in second place to America in the global economy. But now that the tensions appear to be non-existent due to unfulfilled promises of denuclearization and North and South Korea signing the Panmunjom peace agreement, there is nothing to stop China from becoming the biggest economic threat to America and the world's economic stability by overseeing the import and export of 68 plus countries who serve 65% of the world's population and will represent 1/3 of the world's GDP. Add it all up. Once the One Belt, One Road initiative is completely launched, America will be pushed into second place by China, gaining them 68 new common interest allies and a new position of power and influence over the global economy. Conclusively, I want you guys to ask yourself this. If ever there were a war that involved one country out of this consolidation of nations, what nation in this entire planet do you believe will be able to challenge China's position and the loyalty that will come from its future 68 nation alliance? Not many. Keep that in mind. Stay informed, my fellow patriots. Stay informed. La Maga.